Where have the investors gone? Come on, where you at? Hi everyone, welcome to the channel. If you're new, make sure you subscribe please, hit the bell button and leave a like. So, there's a lesson within this, a really important one on how you can make some money in this market through opportunity when people don't want it. Now, I'm no longer getting texts off my friends asking when to buy, should I buy, what should I buy, sort of thing, right? When everything is high, everyone wants it. It's a rule. If you're new in this space and you've experienced that, welcome to the game. If you're still here, congratulations. And if you're looking at the next step in your education, you should always be looking at when to buy, when the prices are very low and when no one is interested, right? So, in terms of everything, and I mean everything, has been slashed. Prices down 60%, Google traffic pretty much down 60%. Bloody my traffic on learning crypto, if you want a free course, jump in the link below. YouTube subscriptions down massively. You know, everything down massively. So even Twitter engagement, just everything. Even my Facebook group, which had like 3,000 members up to 25,000 in a matter of like a couple of weeks, it's now going the other way. It's quite funny. And no one's really interested now. It's great. So for us in the space, it's quite a busy period. It's crazy. And people whinge and moan at us about all kinds of stuff. Oh, should I buy this? Should I buy that? Those people have gone. The trolls have gone as well. And you can see on the screen here, well, we're basically going to go over and talk about a lot of things. Basically, Google search, engagement of everything, right? Social media, app usage, a lot. And I'm going to literally show you why this is so important as an investor, because it's crazy, right? And when we start looking at the facts here, this is where the money is. And we're going to talk about it in pretty chunky detail, realistically, when you think about other things that are kind of little triggers to tell you, I should be taking profit right now. You know that P word that people don't like to use. You know it, right? Starts with P, ends in T. Profit. Anyways, Google search, you can see down. Bitcoin, even though Bitcoin wasn't as ferocious in terms of some altcoins, realistically in terms of aggressive growth, and I know a lot of people go, I don't want to buy Bitcoin because it's not worth anything. I can't make much money on it. However, it's more of a store of value. It hasn't dumped as much as everything else in your portfolio, I can probably imagine. Moving down to the likes of Ethereum, as you can imagine, Ethereum got plummeted, right? In terms of value, in terms of search metrics, Google kind of sentiment on all kinds of good stuff in terms of socials as well, as you can see. Coinbase. Every time, right? Every time this happens, Coinbase always gets a flurry of traffic. It usually crashes and burns for a bit, and then it comes back to life. But you can see the same as well on NFTs. You can see the same on Uniswap. This is not, you know, a thing of just, the prices are coming down into correction. This is people have been wrecked because this market is aggressive. However, a correction always leads to further slippage. Stop loss is activated, liquidations. Comes a bit brutal, realistically. Anywho, search. So if we're looking at tweet volume, tweets have died off a little bit. You've probably noticed your favorite influencer account has stopped tweeting stuff. You've also probably noticed new weekly followers on exchanges have also dropped off a cliff. You've probably also noticed that coin names have not got many mentions anymore. The data and research tweets and followers, they're not doing too bad. However, you know, popular services dropped like a cliff. NFT marketplaces dropped off a cliff. And then you've got the likes of, obviously, Wikipedia. This was where it was kind of crazy. You got to think back in 2017, 2018, there wasn't as much resources as there is now. So you can see that. And then you've obviously got, as I say here, YouTube subscribers falling off a cliff. You know, it's kind of interesting. Views dropped off a cliff. Reddit, subreddit, and stuff like that dropped off a cliff. Yep. It's kind of obvious, right? People are no longer here. Sorry, guys, you know, it's just one of those things. But this is where the opportunity lies, and we're going to talk about it because it is so important to understand that buying low is where it really is. Some of these projects, and pretty much most of them, especially what I cover, nothing's changed. It's actually got better. They've actually built new things and made it better in certain situations, which is crazy. Moving on to the last bit I want to talk about is obviously app usage. You can see Cash App versus crypto app. As you can see, Cash App is relatively, you know, normal. It's like it's predominantly fiat. You do have cryptocurrency in there, but you can see already Coinbase. shit. You know, it's quite scary. You've obviously got the likes of other app usage as well, so I'm not sure what else. We've got eToro Crypto, we've got 4 other ones in Kraken, and obviously other stuff in crypto. It's just, honestly, it's crazy, right? So, one of the other things you need to look at as well, when you start seeing that everyone's going crazy in the market, you've got to also look elsewhere. And the other thing that you need to look at as well is when it is going crazy and all your friends are telling you what to do and what to buy, and they're amazing, versus you as someone in the space who's been there for maybe a while. You got to look at what celebrities are doing. Now, this was important as well. We need to talk about this. This is obviously relatively new, but this is just one example. You've seen a lot of influencers in the space coming into the space, doing certain things and buying certain things and shilling certain things. So you got Kim Kardashian. And then you have, obviously, she was promoting Ethereum Max, which is rubbish. I had someone in my Facebook group give me shit for banning them, for shilling that. And it was, at the time, it was up 800x, right? Which is crazy. This guy, he bought it pretty much at the top, was recommending it to people. I think it's down 90% now. I think. It was at the time anyways. I don't know if it's recovered or not. But realistically, it's quite scary. You've obviously got the likes of Floyd Mayweather also within this as well, paid distribution. But you've also got, there's loads. Everyone is talking and was talking about crypto at the time. It happened in the last run and it's happening again. Well, it happened again now. So you can see all these pretty big influential people. You've only got some that are actually in the space and have been in the space for a while and actually understand the market and they've actually are willing to stay, but you got some people who just go, oh, okay, free money, I'm going to promote this, why not? That's where the problems lie and where people get kind of burnt. The next one is, yes, cryptocurrency scams. I myself, you've probably talked to someone on my comments, you've probably seen me on Telegram in another handle, you've probably seen a fake Instagram, you've definitely seen a fake Instagram, you've definitely seen a fake Twitter. It's one of those things. Trust leads to scams, right? So people will impersonate people. And if you start seeing a rise of this, you're going to start noticing things. And you can see here already, there's 1,000% increase into October. So between October to basically now, 6-month period has been absolutely crazy over that period of time. So you got to think, why is it happening? Well, opportunity. Scammers will always come into a market when there's always a lot of opportunity. And this also leads to investors falling away as well, because realistically, fingers crossed, you don't fall into a scam, but some people do. They'll no longer be a part of the market because they've fallen victim of a scam. If I mention certain things on Twitter, if I mention Trust Wallet, if I mention Binance, if I mention a certain other cryptocurrency, which I'm no longer going to name, and I put their hashtag, I get bots all the time. And people are basically filling in these forms for support. And guess what? They ask for your private keys. You're gone, basically. Also, in my Telegram group, I no longer have a link which works. It's public because the scammers are ridiculous. So I'm going to use a private link and literally refresh it. But I have people that make up a crypto mob support channel just for people in my own channel to be support to scam. It's unbelievable. Anyways, in terms of all this, right, you've got to put this into a level of, maturity, right? So when you're looking at the market and you were like, I want to buy at $1.5 trillion in terms of overall market cap wealth of altcoins, great, crack on. But realistically, when everyone's telling you, you should wait for retracements, wait for corrections, wait and see what happens, this has gone up so much. People don't listen to go, I just want to buy because I think it's going to go higher. That's the worst thing to be. And I've often said it, like, if you can buy a coin, if it's undervalued, crack on, and you're willing to wait, crack on, right? However, if you're buying the likes of Ethereum at $4,000, maybe you want to wait off just a little bit. Forget about what X, Y, and Z say it's going to go to $10,000. It might not. And guess what? It didn't. It might. You never know. But realistically, do you want to have that short-term pain? No. Do you want to buy at $2,000? Probably, yeah. Versus $4,000, definitely you get double your money. However, not everyone programs like that. And that is why the experience comes into it when you've been in the market a while. Buying low is important. Buying when the search metrics are on their arse and everyone's like, I'm struggling to do what this, that, and the other, you're probably going to find a much better opportunity versus someone who was aping in at the top, literally. So when you look at the total market cap as well, this is a total market cap. On the weekly, we're below the moving average 21, or the EMA 21. I feel we are going to readdress these levels, but if we do form an obvious lower high, it may well be a bear market. That's the biggest fundamental drawing point from this. We don't know what's going to happen yet. We have corrected quite a big chunk realistically. However, we haven't formed an obvious, structure yet. I don't think we've corrected yet. But like everything, people get very, very excited at resistance. People get really, really excited when things start to move. And when you start going down to the daily time frame and looking at it, even this is in somewhat of a channel, realistically, when you think the market doesn't know what to do. And we've just got to speculate and think what's going to happen next. But I personally think we've not retraced enough upwards. Does that mean it's a good thing? Maybe. Does that mean it's a bad thing? I don't know. The problem is, if it is an obvious lower high coming and we are going to go up a bit and then we're going to roll over, that might be a problem, because yes, we've got a little bit of a catalyst to bring some sentiment back, but it might wreck people again. You've all seen the video of that Bogdanov thing, which I may well post on here at some point. You know, realistically, you may well find that people will buy into another pump that is basically a correction from the previous dump, and we may well form a low from that point. So you've got to take it as it comes. You've got to basically buy low and take profit when you think it's gone up enough. There needs to be a catalyst to bring back the people. That's the problem. However, if you're willing to wait for those low orders to come in, if you're willing to sit on your hands and get the best fair price of an asset, that's the best position to be in. Buy as low as you can. Even if this is Bitcoin, right, and you are dreading the fact of whatever happens in this channel, if it goes out of the channel and if it hits a resistance point, we've formed even here another correction. We've actually formed again another lower high. That's a problem in terms of when you zoom in on this. When you look at this, we should have, and I mentioned it in the analysis, it was key that we broke above that. We haven't. That's a problem. We may well be going down from this point. Sorry, guys. But if you are dreading that information, you should be learning more and more, because if it's going to go down, it's going to go down. We have literally to a T, well, very nearly to a T, followed this pattern, which I highlighted months ago. Basically thinking we might do that again. We have, realistically. And when we think about where I've been talking about this is where the problem lies. As I've been talking about, the market sentiment has dropped off a cliff. People have vanished and people hate it. So when you think about it, the fair price of Bitcoin, is it realistically 34,000? It might not be. It might be much lower than that. You gotta be ready for that, and that's where the profit of your assets are important, the fuel, and in the mix of all the panic, you can profit on that panic. That's where the strong hands hold their bags and buy low, and remember that the weak hands will eventually drip into you. Easy. Invest in.